So in this section, we are going to be talking about activation and ROI, keeping in terms with the lovable business jargon that we love to use. But again, it's all about delivering on your promise. And again, this is something that I see drivers time and time again. Once they've got the money, once they've made the announcement that they've got that partnership, it's toodaloo, and you never hear from them again. It's all about being honest. It's all about being accountable and being held to your word. So how do you do that? Well, we go back to the SMART goals that we had earlier on with the things that we promised. So everything that we said that we would do, we have to make sure that we are actually doing that. And one of the key things that starts off with is keeping an open line of communication with the sponsor, brand partner, whoever it is. We have to know what their expectations were. We have to finalise them before we even get started. So we have to, on that meeting, we have to sit down, we have to thrash out what do they want from us in clear and unambiguous terms. You need it in black and white, because they could say one thing, and I've seen this happen numerous times to drivers, is drivers think they understand what they were wanting, but then the business actually wanted something else. So if you've got it as expectations in clear and unambiguous terms, then you cannot go wrong. The easiest way to do this with your SMART goals is more business jargon now, KPIs, key performance indicators. And again, these are absolutely standard in the business world. If you work in business or in any sort of corporate form whatsoever, you know what KPIs are. So for those that don't, key performance indicators are targets. That's essentially what they are. They're bits of data that you have to hit. So for instance, a KPI could be you're going to put out 10 social media posts in a month for a brand, right? That's a SMART goal, isn't it? Because you've got specific, it's measurable. Have you done the 10? Yes, you have. Is it achievable? Well, you've got a phone, so yes, you can do that. Is it realistic? Well, it's what they expect from you. It's 10, so it's less than 100. So yes, it's realistic and it's time bound. You've got the month to do it. That means it's very, very easy to measure. And that's all it comes down to. So it's part of those SMART goals anyway, being able to track it. Now, what might not be achievable or realistic is doing 1,000 social media posts in 1 month. That's very likely outside of your scope. So when you're talking about in your meeting about what you can do, it's about thinking about what you can actually achieve on that. If you're saying that you're able to do 10 meetings, in-person meetings, as part of your sponsorship agreement, you have to think, can you actually turn up to those events? How are you going to get there? Who's going to pay for the travel? Who's going to pay for your lodgings while you're there as well? Is that realistic? Is it achievable when you're down there? But if you've committed to it, there's no backing out of it. You're doing those appearances. The other thing to remember is that what's expected of you can and usually does change through the course of the season. So there's a little bit of you that has to be flexible. You have to expect your business to potentially have different goals in mind halfway through the course of the year. Maybe at the start of the year they had an eco-friendly focus, and that was the message that they were wanting to put out. And now they've suddenly discovered that they're actually wanting to focus more on sales instead. How can you change what you're offering to help meet those targets and help meet those goals as well? You'll then maybe have new KPIs that you've got to work out. So again, that discussion could change halfway through. But remember as well, with your activations and your ROI, with what you've promised to them, that has an effect on you as well in terms of your credibility. Because if you don't meet those activations and those ROI targets, you get then seen as somebody who can't deliver on those goals if you're not able to do it. And there's one simple way to get out of all of that. And I don't mean get out of all that, but I mean get out of being seen as that type of person. Remember right at the start of this module here, where I said it's about keeping that line of communication open. Problems do happen all the time. Issues come up, and sometimes, for whatever reason, you're not going to be able to meet those things that you've promised. All it takes is a phone call. All it takes is an email to say, I'm struggling with this. I've for whatever reason, I'm really not in a position where I can do this. Can I have either A, more time, or B, can we double down on something else that I'm already doing to make up for it? 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it. But you're taking that effort, you're taking that bull by the horns, and you're staying in charge of managing that situation as well. That's all it comes down to, is keeping that communication channel open, but it also makes you reliable and also seen that you're keeping to your word as well. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about this in the next section, but the other thing that activations and ROI do, and delivering on your promise and being able to measure everything, is that if you get onto a good thing with this business, this partner, this brand that you're on board with, it makes it super, super easy when it comes towards halfway through the season and you think, actually, I like working with these people. I think we're going to have a conversation about maybe getting them on for another year or another couple of years, or maybe trying to seal, a long-term partnership with this. Because you've done the work, you've got all of that data in front of you, makes it super, super straightforward to have that conversation. But again, we'll come to that in just a couple of moments' time. Let's go over, though, what we've discussed so far with activation and return on investment. Remember, what you promised is gospel. It is absolutely the letter of the law that you should be keeping yourself to. Where possible, always, always, always over-deliver. Always where possible. If you've promised to doing 5 social posts a week, offer them 6. Offer them more than what they are expecting, with no expectations in return as well. You're not doing this to get an extra couple of £1,000. You're doing that because that's the type of person that you are. You're doing good by your sponsor, and you're always going the extra mile for them. So keep delivering that value, but also, look for ways in which you can go above and beyond and offer that expansion and the ways for you to grow things together. Are you looking to get into sim racing? Can you bring them on board with that? Say, look, I'm happy with what you're doing for here. Let's get your brand on the car and on the stream as well. Let's get your logo on my stream. Let's talk about you on stream. Let's do an interview with you on the stream as well. Again, creative thinking can work wonders on that. But the biggest thing with this as well, and that'll lead on nicely into my next section, is that you turn your partners from partners into being fans. And it brings them nicely into that loop that you've been building up. Remember what we said earlier about Kevin Kelly's 1,000 true fans, and they're going to be the most loyal, passionate supporters, and they're going to be throwing everything for your success. You want your brands and businesses that are on board with you to be one of those 1,000 true fans. So that covers activation and ROI and delivering on your promise. Now, we just have 2 more things left to do in this course. Hopefully, you're getting tons and tons of value out of the Modern Playbook for Driver sponsorship. I'm having a blast making it up. And if you can share it out with everyone, keep the word going. Let's get this industry changed one step at a time. Up next, growth and renewal and building long-term partnerships.